Hello class, we're about to start section 12.R1, Review of Converting Units. We will have changing an equation to a conversion factor. We know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. What happens if we divide both sides of the equation by 12 inches? So we have 1 foot over 12 inches, and then we will have 12 inches over 12 inches. What happens if we divide both sides of the equation by 1 foot? So we have 1 foot over 1 foot, and that equals 12 inches over 1 foot. Now the fractions 1 foot over 12 inches, which we have here, and then 12 inches over 1 foot, which we have here, are called conversion factors, and both are simply equal to 1. Because we know one value divided by itself is equal to 1. And we know 12 inches in a foot are the same thing, so that equals 1. Now, conversion factor. An arithmetical multiplier for converting a quantity expressed in one set of units into an equivalent quantity expressed in another set of units. Note, multiplying by a conversion factor is just like multiplying by 1. It says here, example 1, make 2 conversion factors for each mathematical statement. So it's basically what we just did here before. We could divide each side by 60 seconds. Okay, and then we could also divide each side by 1 minute. And just like in the previous problem, we have 1 minute over 60 seconds, 60 seconds over 1 minute, and we know both sides equal to 1. Okay, now the same thing here. 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters is equal to 2.54 centimeters all over 2.54 centimeters. And then we can divide both sides by 1 inch. 1 inch divided by 1 inch is the same as 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. Okay, now we scroll down here. Okay, we have this conversion table. We know if they are equal to each other, they're the same. So if you divide like 1 day by 24 hours, you know that still means a factor of 1. Okay, now it says steps for converting units, aka dimensional analysis. Determine what you want to know. Read the problem, identify what you're being asked to figure out. Rephrase if necessary using per. Translate into math terms using appropriate abbreviation. Determine what you already know. What are you given by the problem, if anything? Determine conversion factors that may be needed and write them in a form you can use. Pay attention to the top and bottom of the fraction. Pick a starting factor. If possible, choose one that already has one of the units you want in the correct place. Otherwise, start with something you are given that is not a conversion factor. Plug in conversion factors that allow you to cancel out any units you don't want until you are left with only the units you want. 5. Perform the mathematical operations to find the answer. And 6. Take a few seconds and ask yourself if the answer you came up with makes sense. If it doesn't, start over. Okay, conversion from foreign units. The San Bernardino tunnel in Switzerland is 6.6 kilometers long. Note, many other countries use a comma where we use a decimal point and write in numbers. How many miles is this? Okay, so now we want to convert this 6.6 kilometers. We want to convert it to miles. So now what we have to do is this here. We have this conversion chart, and I'm not going to keep flipping back and forth, but this is where you would go when I write down the conversions. We want to change kilometers to miles. So what we would go here is here. 1 mile is equal to 1.6093 kilometers. So we would take this information and we would scroll down to the problem here. will multiply this, and this is how we would do it. In our denominator, we would have the kilometers because we would want the kilometers to simplify out. It would be 1.0693, and miles will go up top. So now we can put this over 1, and the kilometers will simplify out, and this will give us 6.6 all over 1.6093, and the answers will be in miles. Now, it tells us here, it doesn't tell us what to round to, but we're going to round to 2 decimal places. So now what we need is the calculator. So we could take this calculator and take 6.6 divided by 1.6093 and round it to 2 decimal places. We have 4.10. So it'll be about 4.10 miles. So that'll be approximately 4.10 miles. Now we move on to B. It says in late 2012, the exchange rate was 1 Swiss franc equals 1.08 US dollars. A tourist bought 212.75, and we know CHF means Swiss franc, worth of chocolate in December 2012. How much American money did he spend? So we need to do a conversion here. So basically, this is how much was spent. And we want to convert this to dollars. So we'll put this over 1, and we'll multiply this. Now remember, we're trying to get rid of the Swiss franc. So what we will have to do is one of these, 1 CHF or 1 Swiss franc, is equivalent to $1.08. We can just use the dollar sign. The CHFs will simplify out, and then we would take 212.75 times 1.08. We can use our calculator. 212.75 times 1.08. That gives us 229.77. That will be over 1, and it'll be dollars. So it will be exactly $229.77. That's how much was spent in American money. Now we go down here to the next page, or go to the next page. It says single step, single unit conversions. Convert the following. Give 3 decimal places. Now we want to change centimeters to inches. So we go back to the chart that I showed you all previously, and then what you would do on the chart, you would have to find inches to centimeters or centimeters to inches. So we know that with a centimeter, according to the chart, centimeters will go in our denominator. It takes 2.54 centimeters to equal 1 inch. Okay, so now we'll put this over 1. Centimeter will simplify out with centimeter. So we have 7 over 2.54. And we know this is inches. So we would take our calculator. And they asked us to round to 3 decimal places here. So we'll take 7 divided by 2.54. And that will give us 2.756. So our answer here will be 2.756. That's our answer for A. Now, for B, we have 500 grain is equal to blank grams. So we will go back to the chart, and we have 500 grain times. Now, in our denominator, we know we're going to have grain here. So now with grain is actually done in milligrams. Oh, we do have it in grams. So it takes 15.43 grain to equal 1 gram. Okay, so now we will put this over 1. The grains will simplify out. We will have 500 over 15.43, and that's grams. So now we will take our calculator, and we will have 500 divided by 15.43. And that will give us 32.404. So it'll be 32.404 grams. And that is our final answer. Now we come to C. We want to change years to days. So we had 35 years. We're going to assume that it's 365 days. So for 1 year, it's 365 days. So we'll put this over 1. We'll take our calculator and take 35 times 365. Now that will give us 12,775. Now it says give 3 decimal places, so we have to put 3 zeros behind here. So it'd be 12,775.000. And that would be the final answer. Now we want to go from, okay, we have D was 300 milliliters to menoms. Okay, so we would take our 300 milliliters, and we know in our denominator we would have milliliters, and our numerators we would have menoms. Okay, now according to our conversion chart here, which we will go on to the other page, it takes 1 milliliter to equal 16.23 menoms. Okay, now we'll put this 300 over 1. The milliliters will simplify out. And then we would take our calculator and we would take 300 times 16.23. And this will give us 4,869. We have to put our 3 zeros behind the decimal, and it's menoms. 4,869.000 menoms is equal to 300 milliliters. Okay, now we have example 4. Multi-step single unit conversions. Convert the following. Give 3 decimal places. Also write the one-step calculator entry that you input to compute the answer for each. We want 1 year to go down to minutes. So now, this is the steps that I would take. I would take the year down to days. So we would have 365 days for 1 year. Put this over 1. Now we need to get rid of days for minutes. So before we get to days for minutes, most people don't know how many minutes there are in 1 day. But we do know how many hours are in 1 day. So we could do 1 day, and that would be 24 hours. Now we could change hours to minutes. So we could do 1 hour, 60 minutes. Now if you notice, all of your denominator would be 1. But we would simplify out the days, the years, and the hours. So the only units we have left is minutes. So we would take our calculator, and we would take 365 times 24 times 60. So we will have 524,160. So our final answer here is 524,160. And then that's how many minutes we will have, but we will have to put 3 zeros behind it. So this would be our final answer. And we can put minutes there to indicate the units of measure. Now, we want to come here to cups to gallons. So we're trying to change cups to gallons. So, what we would do is this here. You have 100 cups times. Now, what we need to do is 1 cup, well actually 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. And then we will multiply that by